Hello all, welcome in this ERP SAP tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to discuss direct asset procurement process through internal order. The asset which are directly going to use immediate after procurement like laptop, printers, vehicles and fax machines and all. For such asset, for the procurement of such assets, we are following the route of internal order. Okay, and for the rest of the assets which are involving in a part of the projects, we are frequently following the project route, project WBS and network route for the capitalization of those assets. Okay, in those assets we are working on the phase wise manner: creation, drawing approval, tender approval and AT and alls. Okay, so how to create the internal order, we will today we will see in the theoretical aspects. Okay, so we will discuss the steps involved in the creation of the internal order, and also we are going to discuss what are the workflow which is involved in the internal order. How can we release, how can we approve, how can we request for the budget. Okay, and also we will discuss what are the roles which are required for these activities. Hope you understand. So creation of the internal order, this is finance activity. Generally account officer planning is responsible for the creation of the internal order after the approval of the estimates. Once the rates are the finalized and the vendor has supplied the material, then we will create the internal order first. Okay, so what is the transaction code of this internal order? That is KO01 and order type jet capital. We are discussing this process for company specific, but in general this transaction code is frequently used. Okay, this is the general transaction code for the creation of the internal order. Hope you understand. This is the FICO activity, and once the AO planning executed the transaction code KO01. Okay, KO01. Okay, create internal order. This is the initial screen, and in order type you need to choose ZCAP. Okay, and the next, in the next screen you need to enter the asset description. For example, if I'm going to purchase the printer, then we are here writing the in the description printer, what is the specification for printer. For example, it is HP printer or Canon printer. We will mention model number. If you want to mention the model number, you can also mention. Okay, and here the description will help you to tracing out the asset in your asset register. So it is very specific here to mention the asset register. So in the asset description, say procurement of the printer for the broadband unit in the circle office. Okay, so you can mention such type of the description also. In the company code, you need to fill your company code, your business area. Okay, in the tab investments. Okay, here assignment tab, control data and investment tab. In the tab investments, investment program name BSNL 2013 is approval year, and position ID you need to fill the approval appropriate position ID, that is IM node, through which you are going to allot the budget, capital budget to in this internal order. Okay, in investment program, here you need to fill the BSNL, and approval year is 2013. 2013 is written in this manual, but for example, current financial year is 2021, approval year is 2021, then you need to fill the current financial year. In the position ID, you need to mention your BA position ID through which you are going to allot the budget. Okay, and you need to save the order. Okay, order created and order number appearing in the left of the bottom. Okay, now the next process is the next process is select the internal order number in the execute the transaction code KO02, KO01 for creation, KO01 for creation, and 02 for change, and KO03 for display. Okay, 01 is for creation, 02 for display change, and 03 for display. Hope you understand. And now select the internal order number and go in the control data. Click on the set reset button. Okay, we have three assignment tab, control data tab, and investment tab. Open the control order, internal order, and go in the control data and click on the set reset button. This is the set reset button. Okay, and change the status up to budget request. Change the status up to budget request. Okay, initiated, estimate created, revision of the estimate approved, and budget requested. Okay, so we will discuss separately in the workflow how the workflow is moving on, but initially at the time of the creation, once created, then go to the budget request status. Okay, now once the budget requested, uh, then the account officer will do the task of the budget allotment. And how we can do the budget allotment? We will do the budget allotment through IM 52, that is the budget. Finance person will allot the budget, selecting relevant position ID and approval year, putting the internal order number. Okay, select investment program, put position ID that is already given in KO01 at the time of the creation of the IO. Approval year is the same year. Put IO number in the IDER field, put budget against IO number in the blank field, and save. Okay, how can we allot the budget? See, once we execute the transaction code IM52, here you need to fill the investment program. In my case, investment program is BSNL, and position ID, you need to mention your position ID that is already mapped in your internal order, and approval here is same, and currency is INR. Here you need to select the current year measure. Okay, here you need to press the process current year measure, that is original. Okay, and here you have lots of options like WBS and measures for a request. So you have to fill your order number in the order field. Okay, once you mention your order number in the order field, this type of the screen will appear. Put budget in both the places, that is in overall and in current approval year. For in overall, for example, we need to allot the 5 lakh budget, then in internal order we need to, in the front of the internal order we need to mention 5 lakh, and then again select the period, or in place of the overall you need to select approval year. In the approval year you need to again fill the 5 lakh, then you need to save. After allotting the budget, please change the status T code KO02 and user status change up to FIAP and released. Okay, before we have requested the user stated to budget requested. Once the budget is allotted, then change the status up to financial approval and on. Okay, FIAP. Once the status is changed up to FIAP, okay, then your next step is to release the purchase order. Please note that once internal order is not released, this is very important point. Please note that once internal order is not at the release date, error will appear during the purchase order. Hope you understand. So this is very important step after financial approval. Okay. So open the purchase order in the KO02, go in the edit, go and click on this release. Once the purchase order has been released, system will generate a pop-up message. Okay. Once the order has been released, then AO planning will create the asset master. AO planning will create the asset master through transaction code AS01 and attach the internal order number in origin tab, fourth tab. With asset class selection, system will automatically prompt depreciation key and appear by default, which needs to change to Z123. In case of class code from 990 to 9914 and only in respect of the depreciation area 01. Other areas and other keys will remain unchanged. Manual selection is required in case of low value assets and partial partition works where 100% need to be expensed off. How can we follow the asset creation? Please ensure correct depreciation, useful life and residual value. 5% for tangible assets is selected provided in the asset master. Please check once again after saving the work. Please take a note that all depreciation pattern will continue in the depreciation area 06. Okay. Please take care of while creating low value asset, that is asset cost up to rest 5,000. Direct ready to use assets are not part of the project. And partition works, select component LVA up to 5,000, partition works up to 2 lakh of the relevant assets class in the allocation tab and change manually depreciation key as Z019. For the low value assets, 100% complete depreciation in all depreciation area including depreciation area 01. So no residual value will remain where 100% depreciation is applied and leasehold and intelligible assets. Okay. So these are the take care points you need to take care while creation of the asset master and applying the depreciation key. Okay. You can discuss with your account officer, senior account officer, how can we apply the depreciation key in the depreciation areas. Okay. How can we create the assets? Use the transaction code AS01. Okay. Here you need to create the asset master using AS01 and in origin tab you need to fill your link your internal order. Okay. In origin tab you need to fill your internal order. Okay. See, this is here you can fill the internal order. Okay. The internal order which you have recently created and released. Okay. Then what you do, create the asset initial screen. Asset class is 9913 in case of the IT or computer assets. The company code is 1100 in our case, and the number of similar assets is 1 or 2. For example, number of similar assets is 1, 3. Then you need to mention 3. System will generate the sub number. Okay. And the asset is created. Finance person will intimate to team for creation of the purchase order with account assignment category A and asset master number. Okay. Finance person will intimate to team for creation of the PO with account assignment A and asset master number. Okay. After that, team will create the purchase order using transaction code ME21. This asset number will be sent to in charge for creation of the purchase requisition and the purchase order. Okay. For the PO creation, you need to use the transaction code ME21. In account assignment tab, in account assignment category, choose A, and A stands for assets, and create the asset purchase order release through hierarchy workflow. Okay, then what is the next? MIGO at good receipt. No financial document will created, no quantity update, and no ZRIR. Okay, so please select A from account assignment system. System will ask for asset number automatically. Okay, so what is the next process? Next process is next process is for MIRO. For creation of the liability, FICO document will be created. Okay, and through A03 oblique AW01 display asset values, and through KO02 finally change the status of internal order to closed, and you can view the asset in the AR02 view report asset register. Okay, and now we are going to discuss what is the workflow of these purchase order. Okay, so this is the workflow of the purchase order. Workflow is how you can manage these workflow orders. And first, the initiator create the internal order, zcap of the internal order, and through KO01 once they created the system is directly generated the internal order number, and it is appear in your workflow inbox. Okay, and how can you go in your workflow inbox? Use the transaction code SBWP or directly go in the work. Okay, this is your workflow inbox. Okay, so um, you need to go open the internal order. Okay, the below mentioned three options will be available: forward, display, and change status. Once your internal order is open, then three option is coming: forward, display, and the change status. Forward, display, and the change status. Okay, forward, display, and the change status. Select the option change status. Okay, select the option change status, that is this. Okay, and go to the tab control data and select the user status, set reset option. Go in the control data, the below mentioned user status option will appear. Select the option in the control data tab. Here is the set reset option, and mentioned user status option will appear. Select the option ESCR created. Okay, and came out of screen with the selecting green tick and saving the order changes. Okay, your message will pop up at the end of the screen, has been changed, below may be referred for the same. Okay, next, step 5. Forward to the concerned officer for financial approval. Enter the partner number of the officer and forward it. Add the comment in the comment box. Okay, and through whom officer you want to forward and had appropriate role for this activity, mention here and click on the forward. Work of the user one completed at this level. Now the concerned officer will follow the same step for change of the status and forward the next officer as mentioned above in step 2 and 4, and update the status finance FIAP finance approval. Okay, finance approval. Okay, then concerned officer go in the set reset mode and forward the same. Financially approved, forward for the further approval. Okay, then user 3 will also execute in similar way to approve the estimate with this status ESAP, and then again forward the order to initiator for the budget request. Initiator will and then again forward the order to initiator for the budget request. Initiator will again forward to this concerned officer for budget allotment and change of the status to budget allotted. Once the budget is allotted, the system status of the order will change as AVAC budgeted. Okay, description. Okay, The detailed comments with the date and the time of all the officer will get updated in the review comments box to note sheet. Okay. Once the budget allotted, the order can be released. After completion of the activity, same may be closed through T code KO02 by the authorized person, mostly initiator. Okay. For changing system status as release technically complete only after the completion of the activity. Go to the edit tab, select the required option and save. Option for the system status are mentioned in the below images. Status close should be selected only after the completion of the job. Okay. So this is the way how can you do the process. Okay. How can we do this process? Hope you understand. And these are the customized transactions, customized roles, which is I'm just explaining here. These are the new roles. Okay, these are the new roles. ZFI internal order status underscore one. This is the roles for the persons responsible with initiator, estimate created, revision of the estimate, budget request, and close. Okay. ZFI internal order status underscore two. This role is responsible for the person responsible with estimate approval, that is estimate approve. ZFI underscore internal order underscore status underscore three. Person responsible for the BUAL budget. Person responsible for BUAL budget allotted. ZFI underscore internal order underscore status underscore four is person responsible for the FIAP, that is financial approval. Hope you understand this process. I have discussed the theoretical aspects of this, and thanks to our core team for providing such helping manuals. And again, my sincere thanks to all the core team members, and please share this knowledge with your colleagues and friends which are working in the field units and the SSAs and BAs. Okay, and also these manuals are available at your help desk sites. Okay, and thank you so much. We have discussed the process in three manners. First, we have discussed all the steps which are involved in the creation of the internal. We have discussed direct procurement of the asset through internal order route. First, we have discussed how to create the internal order. Second, we have discussed allotment of the budget and the financial concurrence and the final approval. Then we have discussed how to create the purchase order with account assignment category A. Then the next step after the approval of the purchase order, MIGO, good receipt. And the third step is the MIRO on the basis of those MIGO and purchase order. And the second step we have discussed how can the user initiate the workflow for the creation of the internal order till the financial approval and final approval, and what are the roles which are responsible for the officers which are working in this activities. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.